I just want to make sure you understand it's always good to be here during a delivery. This helps you to understand and prevent them from overspilling or overfilling your tank. There's some components that you want to make sure that they have available. I mentioned earlier that you want to do a gravity drop on double wall fiberglass tanks. The jobber is actually going to clamp on the appropriate equipment when he does this and do a gravity drop, so you'll be able to see this. But again, it's always safer and best if you're here during the delivery. Yeah. And what I wanted to point out is what we call a secondary transition sump. It's another area of containment for product line spills or possibly breaches in the line. We have componentry in here that allows us to do manual shutoffs as well as some electronic components. Again, pressurized problems will be stopped here. Any breaches or spills that would be coming from the tank will actually empty into this transition sump. We have a sump monitor that monitors the liquid levels. If that goes off, that tells us that we may have a product line problem. The way this then is designed is to allow the pressure force through the lines to go out into our product lines along the dock. Transitions into a secondary or a transition line that holds the secondary containment pipe. Again, it's double wall fiberglass piping that goes out to our dispensers on the dock. It's very important that you have a system designed that will float on a marina operation and not be subject to the componentry failure. We've had failures in the past where the lines have actually dropped into the water and we've had breaches that way. So in designing this, you have to make sure that you make enough room for the pipe to flex and your chase lines to flex as well. One of the main issues as far as the part of the components of your system certainly is your dispenser or your pumps that actually pull or receive the fuel from your underground storage tank. Specific components are required to make sure that these things operate safely and prevent or at least give you early detection of leaks. James is going to go ahead and open the front panel for us so I can show you some of the internal components that will allow this system to shut off automatically in case of a breach. Primary to this is all of our dispensers will have secondary sumps underneath. This captures any fuel that may leak out of the system here at the dispenser and then not allow it to go into the water, or if you're in a land facility, allow it to go into the ground. There's a check valve at the bottom. This particular component right here, that is, anything happens to this dispenser, a boat runs into the edge of the dock, that check valve actually shuts off the flow of fuel, and then anything that has or that's in these lines will be dispensed into this particular fill containment, and we can deal with it. There's also a sensor in this sump that tells if there's any fluid. It gives you an alarm again on your automatic tank gauge. Everything here is intrinsically safe. This is a electronic component. Just remember that you're on a dock. If you have electronic components, you're subject to lightning strikes. So these things can be hard to repair, or you'll be repairing these more often. The internal components to prevent leaks, though, are pretty much mechanical, and they operate, again, like I say, if anything severe happens to this, it automatically shuts off the flow of fuel into your dispenser. Part of the secondary containment are our sump sensors, and James can show you what he has to do most likely during a rainstorm event.
During our rainy season, we have a situation where water will build up in our containment system. This is our vapor water valve, which usually hangs in here, our sensor. Water will get in here, shut the system down, giving us an alarm. Generally we have to come out here and take care of the situation by pumping the water out. Right here is our check valve or shut off valve. During extreme weather, the dock is moving or someone hits the dock too hard, this will generally pop off and shut the system down. In the case of any other emergencies, we do have our fuel shut-off switch, which is located by the store, that can be shut off by the inside personnel or anyone who happens to be close to the emergency shut-off switch.
One of the last things that I want to mention is certainly anytime you're around a dispenser, you need to have the appropriate signage on your dispensers. You'll need to have no smoking signs. We have product on the front of the dispenser saying this is an unleaded pump. There are some other state requirements here from the fire marshal and the state fire commissioner to say who can or cannot operate these pumps and how old they have to be. Signage is always important.